getting ready for round number 6 of TORC, but let's take a look at the previous 5 rounds.
A mistake made by the defending champion that doesn't normally happen, flipped all on his own, end over end, round and round on his side. But he comes back. That's him without the skin, no monster body on there. Adrian Cheney, he's trying to go for the win, but Adrian Cheney pulls off round 1.
The wild man from South Africa took round 1 in Prim. Then in round 2, check this out, Mark Jenkins takes the Traxxas machine up and over the wall. That would put him out of the race.
That is a lot of pain, a lot of height. I mean, these trucks, you can do some freestyle, but not like that. But Johnny Greaves pulls off round number 2.
So here we go, round 3. We move to Charlotte, North Carolina. Greaves and Mark Jenkins again. Watch this. Mark Jenkins' wheel almost comes into Johnny Greaves' calves. Doesn't stop him. He still wins round 3.
In Charlotte, tons of action. Everybody is in the party. Scott Douglas is out front. Johnny Greaves, Adrian Cheney, Mark Jenkins, they're all going at it. If you notice, they're off one side of the track, back, forth, side to side, running into each other. It was one colossal race going on. Here we see Adrian Cheney going around, but it was Scott Douglas that brought home the win.
And then the final round 5 that we had yesterday, Johnny Greaves again managed to hold off Mark Jenkins for the win. Johnny Greaves leads our points. Our pro 4-wheel drive trucks on the track ready to do battle. And this should be quite an interesting race, Ricky. You can see sitting there in 6th place,
Mark Kawami takes the whole shot, but coming right down the inside is Mike Jenkins. He's going to pull off the whole shot here at Bark River in the Pro 4 race.
So Mike Jenkins leads them out. I was going to say, sitting in 6th place, Johnny Greaves, he needs to work his way through the pack again because our top qualifiers get inverted.
Well, and right now, with the field not being quite so big, Johnny Greaves probably patient on getting by these guys because he knows that he has a competition yellow and he doesn't want to tear up his equipment. But right now, the Jenkins brothers and Scott Douglas are out in front.
Mike Jenkins leading Mark Jenkins. And Mark really looks like he's coming fast, too.
Yep, and here comes Johnny on the outside of Kwame. Now he's looking around the outside of Adrian Cheney in that orange 4-wheel parts truck, but it is a little bit dusty on the inside, so guys cannot see. You see Scott Douglas having to lift. When you're going out there, that roost gets thrown out so hard, you have to come to a standstill. You can't see 10 feet in front of your truck, but it's Mark Jenkins who is pushing really hard, but Mike Jenkins, there's no love lost between these brothers as soon as they put a helmet on and get in there. I've seen them hit each other harder than they hit other drivers.
Unbelievable. The Traxxas brothers, Mark and Mike Jenkins. Mark really is trying to find a way around his brother, though. He's driving hard. This might be his chance.
Yep, he sticks a wheel in there and he gets the nose up in front. The spotter is going to call clear because when you're driving, you're not looking out your side. You just trust your spotter 100%. So when you're passing somebody, they'll let you know still there. Like right now, they're saying look in. He's on your inside, still there, still there. Hold your spot, still on your outside. You are clear. So it's that kind of racing that gives you the opportunity to see out of the back of your head.
Oh, incredible. Right behind them, we saw that Johnny Greaves was giving Scott Douglas a hard time all over the back of that black and white machine of Scott Douglas.
So Scott Douglas is a previous winner, also a previous champion, multi-time desert champion, and also a multi-time cup champion. So the Amsoil driver seemed to be struggling a little bit yesterday, ended up with having some troubles, but right there, almost spinning it around, almost goes backwards, but with 4-wheel drive test, you turn into it and hang on. If that was Pro 2, he would have definitely gone around.
Scott Douglas putting all 4 wheels to work. For more on Scott, let's check in with Tony Buckhoven.
Well, guys, Scott told me yesterday that since we raced in Charlotte, they've been doing some testing at Crandon. They've had a couple trucks out on the track trying to find some advantages that they could bring here to Bark River. He feels like they found a few little things that will help them carry that Charlotte win momentum here today.
Thanks, Tony, and he's trying to hold off Johnny Greaves. Greaves leaning on him, though. Whoa!
Yeah.
Off the side of the track.
Well, they're kind of pushing and bumping and banging, and these two guys, let me just tell you, I raced with both of these guys last year and for the past 3 years. If you touch Scott Douglas, he is going to touch you back. Probably about 5 times harder than you touch him. So, Johnny, don't lean on him too hard because Scott is a big boy and he'll take a big swing.
Johnny Greaves in the black and green monster machine. Almost 3 seconds back from our leader, Mark Jenkins. He just cannot find a way past Scott Douglas. But lurking behind them, that orange machine, Adrian Cheney, always a contender. I think he's waiting to see what Johnny Greaves is going to do.
Well, let me just tell you, Tess, when you're racing with these guys in Pro 4, it's like pacing yourself in a bar fight. There is no pacing, man. As soon as you realize it's time to go, you go. Here we're seeing Johnny Greaves on the inside. You see how slick it is, and right there, Scott Douglas, even though Johnny had the position, was able to run the cushion and pull back out in front of him. So the cushion is the place to be right now.
So this, our Pro 4-wheel drive category, driving all 4 wheels with up to 900 horsepower.
Sorry about that, I about jumped on you there. But Adrian Cheney off the track. We got to watch these tires. We saw it happen to Chad Horde. You get off, these tires are great markers, but let me just tell you, it's a trampoline that sometimes can flip a truck.
So Mark and Mike Jenkins leading out our Pro 4-wheel drive race, but Johnny Greaves is charging hard to try and get up to the front. Will he make it? Find out when we come back. Welcome back to TORC, the off-road championship presented by Amsoil. The throwdown in the UP from Bark River. Mark Jenkins is leading out our Pro 4-wheel drive race over his brother Mike Jenkins. They are then followed by Scott Douglas and Adrian Cheney. And you may be well asking, where is Johnny Greaves in this picture, who was actually trying to force his way through into third? Well, there he is.
Well, you can see him struggling. His right front tire is flat, but the difference that these have is like an inner tube, but it's also like a mini tire inside. They call it an inner liner. So if we get a good shot, you can see that the tire is flat. It's blowing smoke all over the place. It's starting to eat the sidewall, and now Johnny decides to go in and go for the change. I thought he might wait till the competition yellow, but he feels confident in his pit crew to go in and make that change. Tony?
He is. Here he comes. Johnny Greaves makes his way down to the pits. They'll go. There's 5 lug nuts they've got to spin off of here. The crew has the new tire ready, but you're right, Ricky. The whole sidewall of that tire is completely cut, and when they get it pulled off here, we'll get a closer look at it for you so you can see it. But if you look just below the lugs on the tread, the sidewall, the smoke's coming out of the side, so it's definitely cut down, and they're getting it jacked up there. They've got the tire off. And the new one's going back on. No, the jack has fallen. The jack has fallen, and the front end is sitting on the ground. The crew's going around to the front to lift it up so they can get the jack underneath. And now they're starting to get it lifted back up, but this is definitely going to slow things down because now they've got to take a look at the suspension, and now they're getting it back up to where they can get that wheel and tire on. Boy, this has gone disastrous for Johnny Greaves. Ricky, this is not what you want happening as a driver when you're sitting here in the work area.
Well, even though Johnny Greaves is such a champion, you see him, he's in there, he's holding his calm, he's waiting because he knows he has time to get this done. Unfortunately for them, they're working on the grass, they're working in the mud, the jack fell over, it was just a racing situation.
Ready for green in our Pro 4-wheel drive. We've just gone through the competition caution. You can see right there, Johnny Greaves has joined the back of the pack. Mark Jenkins in that red and black truck leading us out.
Mike Jenkins taking a look on the inside of his brother Mark. These 4-wheel drives can hold the inside, but both of those guys, and here we got Scott Douglas making a look on the outside, then shooting the inside, and here comes the wild man, Adrian Cheney. Adrian Cheney to the inside gets around Scott Douglas. So yesterday, Adrian was very, very fast at the end of the race. So maybe he's in that mode. Get faster as the race progresses.
So we watch them all come across. Johnny Greaves sitting in the back of this pack now. He has to work his way up in 5 laps to an awful lot of traffic.
He's already passed Mark Kwame. He's got his sights set on Ross Hook at this moment. But right now, I got to give it to this guy. Mark Jenkins is running a great race. I know that he works with my crew chief on the West Coast is Charlie Schleve, and they've made some changes to this truck, and it is working.
It's working really well. Mark Jenkins took second here in Bark River yesterday in round number 5. And he's looking really good here in round number 6, a chance for him to take the win. But Adrian Cheney now working on Mike Jenkins. Cheney, of course, won that first round in Prim.
And the problem test is going to be vision. With the roost and the dust and everything, you can be the fastest guy, but if you can't see, you cannot race. That's the first rule in desert racing. Well, guess what? It's the first rule when it comes to off-road racing. We see Mike Jenkins landing really hard, bouncing his front end. He's got to watch that because you'll tear your suspension up. What's great about all these different trucks is they run racing fuel. You know, a lot of them run BP. C12, VP110, and some of the Pro Lights run late model plus. But what's great is that they give you a range of fuels that you can run pretty much on any kind of motor that you want to run.
Well, that's Johnny Greaves trying to pull his way up to the front, not really catching the rest of the field. And, you know, with that race fuel and these powerful motors, the big difference here when you get to this Pro 4-wheel drive category, there's a lot more dust and a lot more debris being thrown into the air because all of the wheels are driving.
Exactly, but and also when you look at the throttle trace, like right there, that's the problem. Is Johnny Greaves comes in there with all those drivers in front of him, he cannot see the track. They should have put more water down. I understand you can see that the skies are gray, that they're worried about rain, they want to get this race underway, but the drivers have to be able to see, and that's the problem with the guys that are back. But right now, Mark Jenkins doesn't care. It's a blessing. He's running away with it.
Mark Jenkins in the lead now over his brother Mike, and then Adrian Cheney holding down third place from Scott Douglas. Can Mark Jenkins hang on and take the win here today? Well, lots more racing to come in our Pro 4-wheel drive category. Welcome back to Bark River, Michigan for TORC, the Off-Road Championship, presented by AMSOIL. Round number 6, our Pro 4-wheel drives on the track. And this is Mark Jenkins coming to the white flag with 1 lap to go.
Mark Jenkins doing a great job. We're taking a look at Adrian Cheney, a replay of what happened earlier. All of a sudden we see parts and pieces flying, and Adrian Cheney loses his right rear. But with the all-wheel drive test, you can drive these things really hard. We watched Adrian battle off Scott Douglas and Johnny Greaves for over a lap on just 3 tires. He was all the way down to the liner.
Wow, that is a disaster for Adrian Cheney, who really was looking good working on the back of Mike Jenkins. But right now, it's Mark Jenkins, the number 25 red and black Traxxas truck, on the final lap. Looks like he has a commanding lead.
Mark doing a great job. And you know what? This is an awesome day for Cooper Tire. Cooper hasn't been in off-road racing that long. You know, they've done a lot in a lot of other sports, but now if he makes it 3 more turns, he's going to make it a Cooper Tire sweep, and also for Traxxas. You got Keegan Kincaid, Jeff Kincaid, and now the Traxxas Pro 4 in Mark Jenkins. So great job to Traxxas Racing.
He got second here yesterday in round number 5, and unless something disastrous happens...
Lightning could happen. There is weather.
It could happen. Mark Jenkins looks like he is going to take the win here, round number 6 at Bark River. And here he comes. Mark Jenkins takes the victory over his older brother Mike. Scott Douglas will take third.
And Johnny Greaves brings in fourth place. I think something was wrong with Johnny. I don't want to take anything away from them.
Mark Jenkins takes the win. We'll catch up with Mark when we return to Bark River. TORC, the Off-Road Championship on NBCSN, is powered by MagnaFlow. Find your next exhaust at magnaflow.com. By WD, watch your life on TV with WD TV media players. And by AMSOIL, for any engine. Buy now at amsoil.com. Fantastic race win here at Bark River for Mark Jenkins. He's down with Tony Buckhoven.
Well, here he comes. Mark Jenkins climbing out of the Traxxas truck. And he's a happy guy. He's got the checkered flag. Look at him in his teeth.
That's what I'm talking about, baby!
Some excitement down here. Mark Jenkins on top of the world this weekend.
Dad, I love you. Jack, I love you. Marley, Macy, Kenny.
We'll see if we can get him down here.
Salute you, Mama.
Hey, where's your brother at?
I'm bringing it home, baby.
He's bringing it home. There you go. A Traxxas sweep this weekend. Tell us what made your truck so magic.
Hey, this endless efforts from the JBR crew, Jenkins Brothers Racing. They poured their heart and souls in this thing for the last 6 weeks. It was a little bit off yesterday, and Johnny ran a great race. You know, compliments to him. But we knew we had more left, and we dug deeper. Second sucks, and we needed to bring home the top spot. That's a sweep for Traxxas, Pro Light, Pro 2, Pro 4.
Well, that's a very happy Mark Jenkins, and why not? He gets his first win of the season over his older brother Mike. Scott Douglas rounding out the podium here in Bark River.
Johnny Greaves coming in fourth. He was yesterday's winner and also the current point leader, but had a problem with a flat tire. I really want to congratulate Team JBR, Traxxas, and Cooper Tire winning all 3 classes today. I don't think this has ever happened.
Fantastic day here in Bark River. Looking at the points of our Pro 4-wheel drive, Johnny Greaves still holding off the charge of Mark Jenkins. Well, we had a whole lot of fun here in the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. Next, we move to the big house, to Crandon, Wisconsin. And that's for rounds 7 and 8 of TORC, the Off-Road Championship here on NBCSN. Be sure to join us for racing from Crandon when we return. For Tony Bachhoven and Ricky Johnson, I'm Tess Searle saying, hope you enjoyed the racing. We'll see you back here for more.